Hello, I hope you are all well. Welcome to another Channeled Stories video. So, I wanted to talk about the writing that I'm doing at the moment. I've talked about it on the World Predictions channel a little bit, and it's basically, I started with The Hidden Child, which is on here if you want to check it out. And then there are going to be strands going out for different storylines about this one child who's been split in, well, she's not split into four. There are four versions of her from the creator, and the angels are charged with placing that version of the child in different time zones, places, dimensions to save the world, basically. And I've got the four angels, Gabriel, Michael, Raphael and Uriel, and there are going to be others involved. And at the moment I've been asked to write I've had to change it to the Immortal Child. It's a bit steampunky. You can read The Hidden Child, the start of it, on Substack. If you want to check that out, it's for free. I'll leave the link in the description. I did read it out on here, but if you want to read it, and that I'm already started on the next bit, and I'm writing this timeline. One of the others to do with Archangel Michael is the Knight of Swords story that I've been reading to you, and then the other ones, one is Londinium, which I've read to you, and the other is The Witch's Bodyguards. I'm going to change that title, so I'm going to read you a little bit of that today. That's kind of interesting. We'll do a reading on that as well. I will be putting that on Substack, as well as The Hidden Child. I'm going to put two, so if you sign up, it's going to take me all next week to sort it all out, but that's what I'm going to be doing, so check that out. And if you're new here, please subscribe. Check out all of my other channels. I do World Predictions, that's Sarah Curran Ross. I talk about my spooky life. All the links are in the descriptions for all the channels I do about aliens, everything. So they're all there. Channel to the Stars is the alien one, and I'm channeling from Beyond is the spooky one. Okay. So anyway, so this is The Witch's Bodyguards. You can read, I am going to be changing it, but you can read some of it on Inkitt as well if you want to check that out. But I'm going to be taking some of the chapters off there to put on Substack, but you can have a quick, I'll be leaving it a day, so if you want to check it out, it's on Inkitt in the description. In the description is the link. I do spicy romance as well. That is even channeled stuff, believe it or not. I still don't get it with that, but yeah, it is. And that's under Arabella Kingsley. This stuff on Inkitt is under Allegra King, but it will be under my Substack name. So check it out. The title is going to be changed, and I try to put languages in here, bit of Korean. I've got another story which I will be working on as well at some point. That's Chinese. Now, my Korean is not very good. I've been trying to learn it, but it all looks like fractions to me, and I've got to get over that fear. I hate maths. And so it does look a bit like fractions when they write it down, whereas I look at Chinese and for some reason I get a lot easier. So please forgive me, because I'll be butchering the language here. If I tried to even say it, I'm going to probably miss those bits out. This needs work, always needs work. Yeah, it's not the finished product, so please bear that in mind. But we'll do a reading on it afterwards and see what information we get out, because there's some spooky stuff and there's a lot about zombies in it. Again, it's young adult, so please bear that in mind as well. Okay, so I'm starting from chapter 3. Now, basically, I call her the ice skater. They've shown me a lot about this girl ice skating, and basically when she ice skates, she gets communications from other worlds. She gets messages from people, and people come from other dimensions to see what she can tell them about their future or who's doing something behind their back. If she has kings and queens come and visit her, everything. She's on the earth, you know, on earth, and she has 2 bodyguards, and they're to do with they're both Korean. They all are at this school, which is for people who are very talented. Think Fame. But it's in the hills. I think I wrote it in the Lake District. I haven't looked at it for a while. And there's a lot of snow and ice around. And we have a 3rd character who comes in, who is very like the Joker. But I'm not going to say any more about that. He's the son of the devil, basically, and he comes into it. But there's a lot of... One of my biggest inspirations for this was a K-drama. Now, what's it called? It's actually a Korean Odyssey, and it's basically the monkey story, which was my favorite when I was a kid, which is a Japanese version of the Chinese saga, big story, you know, monkey, the Monkey King. So I've always been obsessed with that story, and this is done modern, but it's absolutely, it's funny, it's great. Check it out. It's on Netflix, a Korean Odyssey. I haven't even got the end of it yet. I watched so many K-dramas and stuff, and C-dramas, and I watched some Thai as well. Really good programs, because I get really bored with how they do everything here. And if you're looking for a great Chinese movie as well that is funny, Secrets in the Hot Spring, hilarious, love it. But subtitles, obviously, unless you know how to speak it fluently. And hopefully I'm getting to visit all these places this year, so I'm very excited about that. But I shall watch this space for more news on that, and if I do, I will be doing videos from there and showing everybody what I see, so because it will be a tour. Right, okay, so let's go. So this is The Witch's Bodyguards. The story, the title will be changed, but it is about a witch, and as I say, checking out on Inkitt for the moment, but I will be putting it on Substack. In fact, maybe before this video is done, I've not done, but put out, I may have it on there. We'll see. I don't know. Okay, so she has visions, and this is when she's just finding out about, so she's had some visions. She's had somebody bully her in the, you know, in the toilets. So, beep there. Okay, so because she's a little bit strange, so here we go. Okay, sorry about that. A little glitch there. All I can say is I go somewhere. My body might not, but my mind, or maybe it is my soul, travels. She returned to the chair in front of the mirror and sat down again. He thought about it for a minute. As if you were astral travelling or something like that. She dabbed her tear-stained face and removed the final traces of the lipstick. Yes, something like that. Her eyes brightened and she got a faraway look in them. I go to other places. Some of the things I see and the people I meet from other worlds, they are amazing. I feel like I am flying. She paused, looking at his raised eyes. Then sometimes it isn't nice. I see strange creatures, dark things. Sometimes I feel as though something evil is following me. He frowned. But you always come back okay? Yes. Then there are other times when I travel to places in the country and follow other people. It's all so strange. I wish I knew what was happening to me. I am frightened someday I might get lost and never return. I won't let that happen. The words were out of his mouth before he could check them. Kang Dae watched those long black eyelash... Oh, I can't get my words out, my throat's... Excuse me. Long black eyelashes flutter and then turned away, embarrassed by his sudden need to appoint himself her protector. That's nice, thank you, but I'm not sure you could do anything. I don't know, but it is a nice thought, and for the first time in weeks, I don't feel alone. Thanks for helping me, she said quietly, finishing cleaning her face. He was about to speak when he heard Mr. Claremont right outside the door, talking to a female member of staff. She was remonstrating with him for going into the girls' toilets. Dania jumped to her feet. "Quick, hide," she told him. Kangde looked around. She pointed at one of the cubicles and he ran to it, retrieving his bag as he did so. He was about to close the door, but Dania flicked her eyes across the room towards him, and suddenly it was shutting and locking. Surprised, he moved backwards, feeling the breeze generated by the sudden movement of the door swipe across his face. As Mr. Claremont entered, he quickly jumped up onto the toilet seat to hide his feet. Hugging his arms around his legs, he listened. "Dania, are you all right?" Mr. Claremont sounded concerned. "I heard there were some boys in here trying to hurt you. They said you were bleeding and—" "No, Mr. Claremont, I am okay. Nothing happened." There was an awkward silence. "Are you sure?" Clearly, Mr. Claremont wasn't convinced of her assertion by his tone. "Yes, I am sure. Nothing happened." Another pause. Kangde shook his head. He wished she would tell Mr. Claremont something. Sang-jun wasn't going to give up hassling her. Her visible injuries might quickly fade, but he feared for her mental ones. It was obviously not the first time she had been bullied and beaten by Sang-jun and the others. He wasn't going to stop. He didn't deserve her protection from his father. He wasn't going to stop. Sorry, I'm seeing things I need to change. If she wouldn't say anything or do anything, he would just have to stop them himself. Besides, he wanted to know more about her experiences. "Who are you, Dania? What are you?" he whispered to himself. It was the first time in ages he had been interested in someone and something else other than the band for ages. "You know, Dania, you can come and see me anytime if something, or should I say someone, is bothering you. I know things haven't been easy with your parents' marriage breakup and the recent revelations. Nobody would have known if they all hadn't been on the board of governors for the school. Look, what I'm trying to say is that you can confide in me. I won't let anyone's political bias or anything else prevent me from taking action to protect you." "Thank you," she interrupted, "but it isn't necessary." "Okay, but I would think very carefully about trying to breathe bullying out and handling it yourself. Sometimes you can't and you need help. Please don't put up with anything you don't need to. My door is always open." "Yes, sir, thank you." "Okay." He sounded as if he wanted to say more and push, but he didn't. Kangde shook his head again, wondering if he should burst out of the bathroom and demand action was taken, even if no one could see any injuries. But then he would get into trouble for fighting with Sang-jun and Mo. It might jeopardize his place in ZK. This is a band, he's saying. It's what he's doing at the school. Miss Young would never forgive him. Still, he wasn't going to let Dania get hurt again. He stepped off the toilet seat and reached for the latch to open it and step outside to speak to Mr. Claremont. But he couldn't open it. Growling, he tried to force it, but it wouldn't budge. "Please don't say anything. I can handle this." He gasped when he heard Dania's voice loud and clear in his mind. "Okay, Dania, if you're sure." "Please get to class," he heard Mr. Claremont finish. "Yes, sir." Kangde heard the main door close after her, heard Mr. Claremont sigh and then leave. Not until then did the catch slide open of its own accord and let him out. He stepped outside and stood alone, wondering if everything he had just witnessed had been a dream. He had to find Dania and make sure. From now on, he was going to look out for her and defend her from Sang-jun and the others, whether she liked it or not. She was special, there was no doubt, and he had to find out more about her. Dania hurried to her next class. Just one more to go before she could get back to the ice and practice for the European Championships in a month's time. It was the only place she felt free. No one could touch her on the ice. So far, none of those absent experiences had occurred on the ice. It frightened her to think what would happen if it did. People might think she was having an epileptic fit, or worse, a severe psychotic mental health episode, and she would be hospitalized. She wished she could control it. The telepathy and telekinesis were getting stronger. If she told anyone about the bullying, they might find out she was really a freak, and even though Sang-jun was a... I shall refrain from saying that. Was a naughty boy, shall we say. It begins with P. She couldn't bear to think of him being beaten by his father. No one knew he had been. She'd been able to read his mind when he first bullied her. Of course, he denied it when she confronted him with it and hit her harder, wanting to know who had told her such lies. She was about to enter her next class when she felt a coldness pimple her skin with goosebumps. She gulped. Something was there. It wasn't the first time she'd felt it. He was there with her again. She stepped back from the door to the room, back towards the large windows overlooking the grounds on the first floor of the stately home. She closed her eyes tight, not wanting to look around and face what was there. "Leave me alone," she whispered. The stench was unbearable. It smelled of death and decay. For a moment she couldn't breathe, and she thought she was going to vomit. There wasn't just one this time. She could sense more of them. The sound of cracking bones was louder this time, and she could hear feet eerily shuffling on the wooden floor towards her. They had to be really here this time. It wasn't just a vision. Somehow they had found her. Whimpering, she turned to face them and slowly opened her eyes. They widened widely when she discovered she was no longer standing outside the classroom, but in the chilly open air in another place and time. It was beginning to snow, and she was standing in the middle of what looked like a car scrapyard. Old cars and scrap metal piled high around her. She was surrounded on all sides by the humans who had long since died. They were reanimated, grey-skinned, infected corpses. Zombies. Zombies she'd last seen in a vision standing over her at night. Ordinary human men, women, and even children were no longer their vibrant, colourful, living selves. Some had parts of their faces and bodies missing, skeletal mouths and torn muscle and empty eye sockets infected with flies and some kind of worm she'd never seen. Decorated bodies void of any intelligence and cognition. Mouths opened and closed, dripping blood, ready to bite and feed. Was the virus they carried urged them on so it could replicate itself once more. Dania couldn't breathe. They were shuffling towards her at a slow speed, but something told her if pushed, they could run fast and would pounce on her. She moved from side to side, trying to work out a way to escape. One came closer. She could see his bloody intestines hanging out of a hole in his side. He reached for her and she screamed. Something repelled him as though she had shot him with a burst of energy. He fell back onto the ground, but he was up on his feet quick. Snarling and hissing, he charged at her and the others followed. Dania screamed as he swallowed her in a sea of death. She felt the painful sting of the first sharp bite in her shoulder and then the second in her neck. She saw her own blood spurt around her. She was dying and there was nothing she could do but scream. "Dania, Dania," she suddenly heard a familiar male voice calling her name. It was him, Kang Dae. He sounded so far away and he was too late. "I am here," he continued. Open your eyes, Dania." As if startled from a dream, Dania found herself opening her eyes. She was back inside the classroom. She was lying on the floor. Kang Dae was kneeling over her, holding her face. There was no zombie in sight. She searched her eyes around the room, making sure it was real. She hadn't dreamt it. She'd really been there, wherever there had been. How? It was another episode, only this time it was much stronger than all the rest. Other students were piling out of the classrooms to see what the screaming was about as Kang Dae helped her up. Terrified and relieved at the same time, she propelled herself at him. He gave her a hug. "Shh, it's all right," he whispered. "You are safe. I won't let anyone hurt you. Where did you go this time?" Tears spilled out of her eyes as she clung to him. Listen, I'm not going to read the romancy part. Well, get rid of that because it is going to be changed. "I don't know, but I saw zombies, lots of them," she told him tearfully. "Zombies? Really? Are you sure?" "Yes, I know what I saw. I know what a zombie looks like. These people were dead and reanimated, and they weren't out of a horror movie. They were definitely real. Their teeth sinking into my body was horrifically real. Something is going on, and I have a strong feeling whatever it is isn't happening very far from here." Okay, I'm going to stop it there. I could go on, but I'm going to stop it. I want to do some more work to it, to be honest. So I'll just leave that. Let's do a quick reading and see what we can get. Where do you want me? You want here? Okay. There's a lot about zombies. I get lots of information about zombies, skeletons, dead rising. I don't know what that's all about. There's a past coming to haunt us. Something about time, that I mean, Sean. We've got power. So this person has a lot of power, this Dania character. Did you want that up straight? Okay. That's interesting. This person brings light, illumination of the dark that's around us. Now, it's really weird. Do you see how the light looks like that? It reminds me of a Super Trooper light. And when I was sitting over on my desk earlier today, I had the main lights on and 3 of them looked like that. I kept looking at them and I didn't know why. Something is being illuminated. The dark, the light in the dark is shining bright. Destroying the dark, pushing the dark backwards from the world. That's what I'm hearing. Interesting. We've got fruition. All about the moon shining. Something coming to fruition. A cycle. I had a vision yesterday. One of my guides showed me a lot of bicycles. And I'm talking hundreds of bicycles, and people were coming along, putting them down, and getting off them and putting them down. So this is the end of a lot of cycles, earth cycles. Lots of cycles. Oh, that came out. Extremes. Anger. Extreme anger, extreme heat, extremes. Coming to an end. Not yet, I heard. That is the plan. Something. I keep saying, it keeps showing me the Bible a lot. I'm hearing about Quran here. All holy texts reveal what is to come. Only we can change it. We can change the trajectory we're on from destruction. Okay. Yeah. The void. Now, remember, I keep going on about that image I saw where the wall was coming towards me, the wall of dot. That shouldn't be in there. Sorry. The wall of, well, I'm going to leave it out because I obviously pulled it out for a reason. Yeah. It's to do with that. That's the void. That's what we are attracting at the moment. Darkness. So in this story, this person has come to correct the path. To help the path to be corrected. Are we all going to become zombies? I don't know. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, we have to see the beauty in the situation as well. The beauty of who we are and transform. We can either go at the void or we can transform. See the beauty of who we are instead of extremes of this, that and the other. In all aspects of life. Now we've got the princess and the pea here. It's a pearl of wisdom. It's a pearl of acknowledgement. The chosen one. And in the story, she is the chosen one that reveals the truth to humanity, the dangers, the darkness that they must face. Illuminating the dark so we are no longer afraid of the dark and can evolve. Okay. What else have we got here? Dreams. Yeah. Nightmares. There's a lot of communication coming out in dreams. You may be having strange dreams. The dark and the light are contacting everyone. Saving face. Trickster. Now I thought that's interesting. That's very interesting because I told you about the Joker being in this story. The trickster is almost like leading us to face our fears, face the dark within us, shadow work, but as a human race and as a collective. To see that we do not need to live in extremes. To see, remember the theme for this year, I've been told, is basically the invisible will be illuminated. I'm going back to this twin theory that I was talking about on the World Predictions channel, the video I've just done. And we've got the dark and the light, the twins, bringing them together here. But there's a lot about trickster energy being led down dark paths into the void. That's where we've been led by a trickster energy. As a human race, down into the void. We must face the darkness and go on to the path of evolution. Now, this character brings wisdom. So there's some sort of wisdom coming on the earth. The other vision I had, very, very strange. I don't think it fits in here as such, but I see a big flame and I see people standing around it and holding hands to keep this flame going, this illumination. Flame. It's almost like the virus that it talks about in there is this out of control, this chaos, not seeing the truth of things and following these extremes, being lost in the void, going around like the undead, being led, too much led, lost. I keep getting that a lot, lost. The human race at the moment is lost. Okay, and it's got to find its way through the dark back to the light. And there are people on the planet leading, trying to, you know, show the way. But this trickster energy feels we still have work to do to get to the light. Now, I did do a reading on the channeling from beyond about the trickster energy. The Joker on there. There was a reading, so I'll leave that on the end screen. You may be interested in that. We've got the cat, which is all about using intuition. Now, dinner. What did it say in the thing about that? Being cut down to size. Being led. I mean, every time I look at him, I just see the alter ego of Elon Musk. Muskrat, as we call him on the World Predictions. Muskrat. Oh my God. Of course. Cat. Trickster energy. Could also be Mr. Rowe himself as well. Dreams. Fog. It's like the fog coming in. Okay, we'll get 2 more cards here. And then I'm going to end it. I want to keep my videos a lot shorter for people, so. But if you want to know more, I may do another reading of that, another chapter. But if you want to know more, please check out the Substack. It'll be on there. Please check out the Hidden Child as well. Yeah, there's a transformation going on, being led through the dark to reach the light. Yeah, this is all about our growth as a collective and a human race. And at the moment, we're going through chaos. There's a lot of chaos. Can we find our way out? This is up to us. We have to make the breakthrough. Okay, I'm going to... and release the past cycles of the earth and the violence and the danger right from the year dot and go into this evolution. Okay, it's all there for us. We just have to do the work. get through it and change and not destroy ourselves in the process. So keep the faith. All right, take care of yourselves. Thank you. Please subscribe, please share. And it's quite hard for me to read this stuff out. I hate reading my stuff out, so please forgive me. It's not just a straight reading. I'll never be able to do that. So, but as I say, check it out on Substack when I get it on there, and check out The Hidden Child, because it's all linked. All these 4 lines of books are linked to one, which is the start, which is The Hidden Child, that's sent by the creator. So check them out. And hopefully something I do for my creative writing page today as well. It had to change from history to creative writing. Oh, it just went all wrong. So it is not a smooth process. So fingers crossed I get accepted. But because I want somebody to help me hone my skills in on this. And I have to do a critical component and study the literature aspects. So it's not just in creative writing, it's in literature. So literary theory, that kind of stuff. So eco-Gothic in particular. So yeah, we'll say wait and see, but check out the 2 Substacks as well, and one for my experiences, and on my other channels. Take care of yourselves, and I shall see you next time. Many thanks. Take care. Bye.